Folks, welcome back to another edition of ISD Official Visit. I'm your host, Christian McCullum. We're going to try to make this show topical every week. So obviously the topics surrounding Notre Dame football right now aren't very positive. There are a few of them. And one of the ones that, is obviously coming up, especially in light of Coach Freeman's announcement yesterday that Tyler Buckner is lost for the season, is the quarterback position. And that's been a topic even before yesterday. Obviously, Drew Pyne's coming in now as the starter. And I think one of the narratives around Notre Dame, a lot of Notre Dame fans right now, is that, Drew Pyne might not be capable of handling a job like this. I have my own personal feelings, about it, but I'm no expert. So I did want to get with an expert. So this week's guest is Thomas Morris from QB Country. Thomas, thanks a lot for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Christian. I appreciate it, man.
All right. Now, you guys have worked with Drew for a long time,
Yeah.
but you're not just like Drew's local quarterback coach. Those guys are great. I love those guys. But you guys are pretty, the preeminent kind of national quarterback training facility right now. Who are some of the guys that you guys have worked with and are working with now?
Yeah, Daniel Jones for the New York Giants, Mac Jones for the Patriots. This last draft, we had Sam Howell, Bailey Zappi. And so, we're working with guys all across the NFL landscape, college landscape. And so Drew, we've been working with him since 8th grade. So, but yeah, there's guys all over the country for sure.
Yeah. So, I guess we'll get into a lot of stuff, but just right off the bat, now a lot of Notre Dame fans are questioning, is Drew Pyne capable of this job? Is Drew Pyne capable of being the starting quarterback in Notre Dame?
100%. 100%. I think you saw flashes of it last year, what he's capable of, and he's only been put in bad situations. And so I think if you throw him in a good situation or let him have the reins from snap one, I think you'll see a product that you like. And I think Drew can 100% handle it. And not only that, I think he'll thrive.
Okay. Obviously there's been some ups and downs. You mentioned last year, Drew came in against Wisconsin and Cincinnati, looked really, really sharp. Didn't see him the rest of the season. He was thrown into, talk about difficult situations. He was thrown into the spring game. Buckner had sprained his ankle the 2 days beforehand. So Drew's running back and forth, not very many commercial breaks, working with half the line, half receivers, that kind of stuff. So not a great position to succeed. Brought in, final minutes against Marshall the other day. He did have the bad interception. Let's take a look at that. You tell me, what's going on here.
Yeah.
This is the second play he's in.
Yeah, I think you're thrown into a situation. You're down 11, 3 minutes left. I think Drew came in pressing a little bit, and that's because, hey, time's running out, right? I think he could have taken that check down there, but I think he's thinking, man, we gotta score points. We gotta score them fast, and he made a mistake. And I think he has a little gunslinger in him, but I think if he's not in a tough situation like that, I don't think he's gonna make that throw. I don't think that's very characteristic of him. So he does not want to just force balls in there like that. But I think that's one where he's pressing. He looks at the clock, 3 minutes left, and we got to score points. We got to score them now.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm going to ask. This isn't characteristic. This isn't the kind of thing that you guys need to work with. And this is something we'd expect out of Drew. It's just kind of a situational thing. And just to be honest, it's a mistake. It's a bad decision, So like you said, you've worked with Drew for years, going back to 8th grade. What are some of the characteristics about Drew that stand out as we watch? These are some clips from his high school days.
Yeah. I think one of the most important things is, he's accurate. Deadly accurate. And then he's gritty. He's a warrior. He'll be the hardest worker on the team. He's one of those guys that he may be 6 feet tall, but his heart's like 7 or 8 feet. Mm-hmm. He's just he's the guy that you kind of want leading your team, in my opinion. He's a leader. He's a worker. And he literally, you have to carry him off the field. He's just one of those guys where he just, like I said, I think you'll be happy and proud of the brand he puts on the field. It's a gritty game he plays, and he's tough, man. And I think Notre Dame fans, whether you like him or not, I think you're going to like his style of play. I think he'll make you like him, honestly.
Yeah. So, I mean, just physically, I mean, a lot of people question his arm strength. I mean, again, this is 3 years ago, 7-on-7 here. The arm strength, I mean, he may not have a bazooka, right? But this is,
Yeah.
more than adequate arm strength.
Yeah, I would say first of all, I'd say he's the best thrower that Notre Dame has. Period. In my opinion, he is man. He can make every throw in the field. He may only be able to throw at 60 yards or so in the air, but how many times are you throwing at 60 yards? He can hit that comeback, 18
I
to
love
22
this
yard
one, right? I
comeback.
love this one right here. This is what
Yeah, that
we
nice layered
characterize
in.
that
Yeah.
pine dime.
Yeah, Pine Dime, that's right. And it's but he can throw all levels, first level, second level, third level. I mean, it's just I'm just excited to see him, have the full reins, and just really have an opportunity, a real opportunity to show what he can do. And I think, like I said, Notre Dame fans will be proud of what they see.
Yeah, and I mean those are high school 7-on-7 highlights. No pads,
Hmm.
nothing from years
Yeah,
ago where they show. But he did have a little bit of an opportunity last year. He came in
yeah,
against Wisconsin and Cincinnati, and I mean he kind of did very well actually.
yeah. I mean, he bought out. I mean, he once again he's thrown in a bad situation, but I think you can also see how the team responds to him. I think they respond to his energy. He's always been an energy guy. He's like one of the most positive guys I've ever talked to in my life. Like he has this something about him that's just people call it the it factor. It's just there's something about him that man he just makes people go. He makes people believe with the way he fights and the way he goes. And I think you can see the way the team responded against Wisconsin. And I think if he would have had more time against Cincinnati, I think y'all win that game. And I don't think Cincinnati goes to the playoffs. I'm being dead serious. It's just he just needed probably another quarter. That's all he needed, and it would have been I think Notre Dame's. They would have been wrecking Cinderella over there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Irish Sports Daily fans, subscribers know. I got to know Drew, pretty decently well
Yeah,
during the recruiting process, and I'm a big fan. You talk about the it factor. I think people just throw that around a lot,
yeah,
but when you're talking about Drew Pyne, I mean, it's almost tangible, is the way I've described it.
yeah, yeah,
And even when you hear everybody talk about it, it's obvious. We've done some stories on him when he was a recruit, dating back to the time he spent with kids that are dealing with different issues and just his maturity factor. I think a lot of people know he had to deal with a lot of BS and rumors and stuff when he was in high school that were totally unfair and the hate. And the kid has just always kind of either let it roll off his back or let it fuel him.
yeah,
So his maturity and the it factor, that's one thing I know for a fact. Like this moment's
yeah.
not going to be too big for him. Right? He's
No,
going to be completely
yeah,
ready.
yeah. There's no moment too big for him, man. He's resilient. He's man. He has one of those things where it's somebody does something to him 5 years ago, he remembers it. I mean, like he remembers these things, like you said. He uses them as motivation, and he's probably one of the most focused kids I've ever seen, and a guy that a lot of kids say, man, we love ball. I love ball. I'm obsessed with it. He is obsessed with football, man. He is obsessed with this position, and all he wants to do is just be great, and all he wants to do is help Notre Dame win, and that's it, man.
Okay. Now, we don't need to make this a Drew Pyne versus Tyler Buckner. They already had their
Yeah,
competition. Tyler is out for the season, and they're turning over to Drew Pyne. They're different quarterbacks. And with those differences, I think you said earlier you thought that Drew's the better passer of the two.
yeah,
Notre Dame has struggled in the run game in the first two games. Against Ohio State, you're playing one of the top teams in the country. Notre Dame had a real game plan there to kind of chew the clock up. So Tyler Buckner didn't really get a chance to even prove himself as a passer that game. I think everyone would agree early in the Marshall game, Buckner did have his struggles being consistent as a passer. If Drew's able to come in and provide a consistent passing threat, what will that do for the entire offense?
yeah. I mean, I think it just levels the playing field. I think people were starting to stack the box a little bit. They were saying they're daring y'all to throw it. I think, and I think with Drew, I think you'll even it out a little bit. I think he can do anything in the playbook. I think deep throws, 5 wide, 4 wide sets. I mean, with 10, 11 personnel, he can do any type of personnel, and I think you'll see a wide open playbook, and I think you'll see more passes downfield.
Okay. And again, just kind of wrap it up. You've talked about the situations he's been thrown in. Those are the situations backup quarterbacks have to deal with, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Come
That's
in and
life of the backup. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But life of a starter is a little different. You just talked
Yeah.
about it, the whole playbook. How much different is it when you're the starter? You know you're the starter going in. The coaching staff knows you're the starter. They're building the game plan around you.
Man, I think it just gives you confidence. Like it just shows, man, this is your chance, this is your opportunity, and hey, this is your vehicle, and we're gonna let you drive it, and we have all the faith in you in the world, and we're gonna try to go get some W's, right? And I think, man, you'll like I said, I think you'll see a brand of football that Notre Dame fans are really gonna be excited about, and whether you want him to be the starter or not, like I said, I think he's gonna go out there, and I think he's gonna ball out. I think he's gonna make big throws. And now, will he make mistakes? Sure, right? It's his first start. It's his first start. He'll make mistakes, just like Buckner made mistakes. But I think you'll see a fighter. You'll see a guy that comes in just letting it rip, man. And I think I think the receivers and tight ends will be excited to run some deeper routes and concepts even.
Yeah. All right. All right, Thomas. Well, hey, man, thanks a lot. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah. Thanks
Obviously,
for
you
having
guys,
me, man.
your reputation at QB Country precedes you. So we really appreciate you coming on and offering your insight.
Yeah. Thanks, Christian. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye.
Bye.